Oh, sorry friends, my mic is in mute and speaking since from 10 minutes. Sorry, let's start the session. Friends, very good morning. This is Ravi Kanth. I was been working for the company Prolifix for the client VMware. Okay, I'm having a journey with the IT in 10 years of journey. Since from 2000 to till the year, I was working for the company Prolifix for the client VMware as an automation test lead. And I also traveled to the US as well. In the California, there I worked for my client, VMware. I was offering you like corporate trainings in a Selenium of my what experience I'm having 10 years. I'm sharing to the guys for you, friends. So to work with Selenium, the precondition is Java. To work with Selenium, the precondition is the Java. Not only Java, see, suppose my Selenium is supporting various programming languages like Java, C Sharp, Ruby, and Python. What language you prefer to automate, that language you must be sounds good. If you are work with the C Sharp, you must be sounds good, basic knowledge on C Sharp. If you're working with Python to automate, you must be sounds good with the Python technical knowledge. If you're working with Java, Java must be sounds good. Because all the Java concepts which we are going to be implement in our automation. That's why once the technically your sounds good, then nothing is becomes very seldom. The nothing is seldom becomes more easy for you, because once you see everything, identifying the web elements and writing a scripts is very easy. But verifications and validations is the main motto of the testing. While doing the verifications and validations, where we have to apply some Java logics, where we have to go with the core Java concepts. That's why you must be sounds good in core Java, then will be happily you can work with how to associate the Java code into this my automation scripts. Easily you can do that. Okay, in my part of the course, I'm going to be teach you Java, friends. For 20 classes, I'm going to teach you Java, all the core concepts like inheritance, abstraction, interfaces, polymorphism, constructors, exception handling, file system objects, collections, strings, and regular expressions. Okay, so all this we are going to be access, non-access modifiers, data types, variable types, right? So set rules, all the things. We are going to discuss all the core Java for 20 days. After 20 days completes, we go with the Selenium, friends. Yes, in Selenium, what concepts we are covering? Yes, so all the advanced concepts which I'm going to teach you, friends, like starting from GitHub server to the Jenkins, entire end-to-end 100 days hit movie, how it look like. My class will be like that. So first start with the GitHub servers. What is a GitHub server? Everyone know, friends. If multiple persons are working on the same project, if multiple people are working on the same project, or different sitting in a different geographical locations, so if we want to we want to make the projects in a central repository, are we going to be maintaining a separate where you the people are staying in New Jersey, they are maintaining a local New Jersey system. Some people staying in a California, they are maintaining the project in a local system. Some person is working in from Hyderabad, they're maintaining the project in the local system. Is this making a sense? No, everything should be get centralized. Every project must be centralized. From the centralized repository, I have to pull the projects from different geographical locations. People are working can have the updated information on the project. So where we use the GitHub servers. Okay, 3 months ago, Sachin Adandla, who is a Microsoft CEO, he has owned the GitHub servers. So I was been working for GitHub servers since 1 year. So I'm having good amount of knowledge on this GitHub servers. I can tell you how to create the repositories, how to create the accounts, and how to push the projects into the GitHub server with the help of the GitHub desktop client, and how to how to import the projects from GitHub server to the Eclipse, and how to create the branches, how to import the projects from the branches, how to merge the branch from one branch to other branch, how to commit the code, how to commit and push the code, right? How to revert back the code. All these concepts in the GitHub server, which I'm going to give you very clear picture practically for 2 days. All the advanced concepts which I'm going to give you very clear information exploratory. So daily I'll be making you one of you as a presenter. I'll be asking to do something what I was saying in your system. Parallelly, every person will be doing in front of me. If any of you are facing any issue while I was doing any setup in your respective systems, I'm switching here and there, helping out for you, friends. It's not like I said moving the slides and giving the trainings. It's like an interactive sessions. So what I daily I used to make one person a screen share. will do in your respective systems, which makes you encouragement to learn new things from me. Okay, yes. So GitHub servers, I used to discuss how to create account, all those things. Okay, this takes like 2 days to complete this GitHub servers. And next, I'll be discussing you the testng framework. Testng framework is a Java framework. So in the testng framework, we having many features are there. We can set the dependencies, we can group the test cases, we can execute parallelly, we can execute serially, we can set the dependencies, we can configure that customize XML files, we can whatever configurations we can make it in a testng XML file itself. Testng XML is an execution engine. Whether what has to be included part of the executions, what not to be part of the executions, everything needs to get configured in the XML file. How to create our own XML file, how to configure what are the classes to execute, what are the groups to execute, what are the dependencies test we have to make, how to execute parallelly, serially, everything I'm going to be explaining you a part of the testng. In testng, some annotations are there. What are the respective annotations? What are the metrics for that annotations? What are the arguments? What are the uses for the annotations? Everything we'll discuss in testng for 3 to 4 classes. Okay, testng framework is a Java framework. Yes, so we'll discuss testng for 3 to 4 days for the testng I am spending for that. All the advanced concepts, friends, I was concentrating more on that. As practically real time, what we concentrate, that I was making focus mainly more hours on that. Okay, fine. Next is a page object model. Page object model. So page object model means here itself in the meaning, in the name only, we having some meaning. Page object model, pages. So friends, if you're working with web applications, everything is represented in the form of pages. Every page contains some web elements. That web elements can be of any kind. That can be of a text box, radio button, checkbox, web table, drop down, any of the web element. So every web element backend, it having some properties. How we are having the properties, like if we want to contact Ravi, what is the property for the Ravi Kanth? Ravi Kanth is the first name, Leila is the second name, and he is having some Aadhaar card number, having some SL number, he is having some voter card number, he is having some driving license, he being as an employee means having some employee ID number, having a height, weight, color, all are properties of mine. If the people wants to identify me with my name, they are going to be identified. If I'm being in a company, if they want to calculate my salary, they're tracking based on my employee ID, right? If any elections are going on, so I am getting identified by my voter ID, right? Like this, respect to need, respect to properties, we are using to identify the object. A similar way, in a web applications, we having so many web elements. For every web element having its own properties. How we are having the properties? I said, similar to way, some properties are defined by the developers for every web element. Okay, so page level, we have a page level, so many pages in the applications. Every page having some web elements. Every page having some web elements. Yes, web elements contain some properties. The page level properties and operations we used to organize in a respective Java class. Suppose I'm having 10 pages, 10 Java classes I was maintaining. Page 1 properties behaviors, write in a Java class 1. Page 2 properties behaviors, write in a Java class 2. Like this, I was dividing in rule policy. See, maintaining everything in a single Java class, all the 10 pages properties behaviors being in a single Java class, instead of I was breakdowning that. How many pages are there? That many Java classes I was maintaining. So my job becomes more easy for me. The advantage of going for page object model means, okay, one of the advantages is easy maintenance, right? See, suppose if we got request to execute one test case, the test case is in the page 5. What I will do, page 5 respect to Java class, I am extending, I was loading that page 5 related properties behaviors only. Unnecessarily 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10 pages I was not calling in during execution, where my execution becomes more faster, right? But that should be releasing. And one more advantage is, yes, if any issues comes, debugging also very easy. Going to respect to page class, I'm going to rectify that. If any new change request comes to the existing functionality, yes, in which page functionality has changed, Okay, change request came. I'm going to respect to page corresponding class. I used to interact with that class only. I'm going to be change the changes as per the new change request. If any newcomer comes also, makes easy to understand the things as a become maintaining as a structured way as a page object model. So everything is benefited in going for page object model. We'll discuss page object model for 3 days. So practically I'll show how to create all the pages and properties behave as page factory approach, how to initialize all the web element properties, how to call from one class to other class as a framework level. As page object model, I teach like 3 classes for page object model. Next, Marvin project. So as everyone knows, Java projects, Marvin projects we can create. Where in real time we work with a Marvin project. In real time we work with a Marvin project. Yes, friends, Marvin project is a build versioning control tool. It maintains everything in a version oriented. Friends, as I said, multiple persons are working on a same project. So everything has to maintain some common centralized repository that GitHub server we are using. Yes. So once you have started doing automation in the central repository, so we need some resources to work with the project, some backend supported resources we want, dependent files we require. So multiple persons working on the same project, every person needs some dependencies to work the current project. The dependencies we have the maintain some versions. So what you are maintaining, suppose I was maintaining Selenium WebDriver 2, someone is using Selenium WebDriver 3. In December 25th, WebDriver 4 is coming. Another person is working WebDriver 4. When I see work is distributed, suppose I'm having 30 test cases we need to develop. One person in New Jersey developing 10 test cases in WebDriver 2. Another person in California, okay, that guy is working on some other 10 test cases with WebDriver 3. Some other person sitting in Hyderabad, 10 test cases he is working in a WebDriver 4. When all this 3 people has completed 30 test cases, at last I need to integrate it into one common repository, right? And integrate everything into this single platform, right? So, but people are working in the different versions, right? WebDrivers 2, 1%, WebDriver 3, 1%, WebDriver 4, 1%. So, should not maintain like that. So, every person working on same project, we have to maintain common repository. In Marvin project, we having the pom.xml file. Same pom.xml file we have to use for by everyone. In pom.xml, we used to configure all the dependent jar files. What are the dependencies required for to drive your current project? All the dependencies with a similar version we are maintaining in a pom.xml. Same pom.xml file we are organizing by every person. So versioning conflict will not happen. If any new versions are coming, automatically pom.xml will be updating with that latest feature, latest version. Okay, so Marvin is a build versioning control tool where it always talks with a terminology called group ID and artifacts. So every dependent jar file having its own group ID and artifacts. So if you want to work with testng, yes, in our Selenium we have to download the test. We have to configure the testng dependencies into the pom.xml. If we want to generate execution logs in while executing means log4j dependency we have to configure to the pom.xml. If you want to show the beautiful report to the client after your execution, we need an extend report dependency jar file that needs to get configured in the pom.xml. Everything needs to get installed configured in the pom.xml in form of group ID and artifacts. Every dependent jar file is maintaining some information, group ID and artifacts. Based on that information, everything is going to be loaded into your current. Hi sir, I am not able to. So who is what's the problem, sir? I'm not able to TP. What is this? Okay, let me continue. Fine. So where we are? Yes. So page object model we are Marvin project we are discussing. Yours, share your screen. It is already shared, right? Saurabh, it was being already shared. Everyone able to see, I think. Okay, friends. Now, so we'll be working Marvin project in a form of group ID and artifacts. So in group ID artifacts, every dependent jar files having its own group ID and artifact information. Once you maintain that, if anything got the new version has came, automatically the group ID artifact ID will be reading with the server. If anything new versions comes, automatically it will be loading to your current Marvin project. That's why we say Marvin project is a build versioning control tool. It always manages the versions. Okay. Yes, we'll be working for one day how to create the Marvin project, how to add the dependencies. Okay, how to make a static and dynamic to add the dependencies, how to run the goals on the Marvin project, how to update the Marvin project, all those things are, and if any challenging comes during running the goals, how to fix up all those things, I'll be showing you friends in the Marvin project. One day we used to discuss about the Marvin project, and next I used to teach like a next as a um, uh, grid. You know grid, right? You know grid. Grid means executing the scripts in a multiple environments. Where Selenium, in a Selenium WebDriver, we used to write the robust browser-based automation suite. We are writing a automation means we are doing automation means the script supposed to execute in multiple browsers. It should be supposed to work on the multiple browsers. Such a way we are adding the automation code. That once we develop the automation code, that code supposed to be work on the multiple platforms and multiple browsers. So who will be taking care of executing to promote to execute that automation script to execute in multiple platforms and multiple browsers means with the help of the grid only. What grid does, which scales and distribute the your automation suite to promote to execute in a multiple systems. Testing grid is it is equal to cross browser testing. Yes, cross browser and cross platform testing. Yes, it's a cross browser and cross platform testing. So in grid we can execute in a local system, in a cross browser we can do that parallelly and serially. The same thing we can execute in a different systems. We use some capabilities and remote drivers, web drivers we used to use to execute in a remote missions. Okay. Yes, grid is nothing but to execute parallel executions. Okay, cross browser and cross platform testing. So which scales and distribute the your automation scripts in promoting to execute in different environments and different browsers in executing that. The grid will take care. Okay. So if you want to apply the grid concept, testng is a compatible version where testng executes serial execution, parallel executions. That's why grid is compatible with the testng framework. With the help of the testng, we apply the grid concept. Okay. So in the grid, we configure the hub and nodes like a client and server. We call it server and clients. Server means one will be there, clients means many will be there. Everything is to connect to the server, right? From we are monitoring from server line. Same kind as terminology in a grid we call as a hub and nodes. Hub is equivalent to the server, nodes is equivalent to the client. Getting what I'm saying? Yes. So hub and nodes we used to call in terminology in the grid concept. We have to initiate one hub and we have to initiate multiple nodes. We have to link with every node with a hub. So where we used to configure in setting some desired capabilities. If it's sitting in one hub, I am monitoring here. Yes, I want to. I'm passing some desired capabilities that this test case has to be run in a Mac with Safari. This also test case supposed to run in Windows with Chrome. But this is the test case I want to run in a Linux with so and so Firefox. I am giving some desired capabilities for the test cases. Okay, when I was calling the hub, it is that the scripts are assigned to the hub. Hub will take care to assign to which node to execute, which node is available with this desired capabilities. First node one is a Mac with Safari. Okay, three nodes we connected. One node is with Mac, one node with Windows, one node is with Linux is there. When I execute this code, in that we define the desired capabilities. Hub will listen the desired capabilities. What desired capabilities you set up? Mac with Safari. Yes, Node 1 is available with Mac OS and Safari is there. Of course, Safari is there in the Node 2, but OS is Windows, right? That's why based on you pass the desired capabilities, the hub is going to be assigned available node having which desired capabilities matching with that is going to be assigned. We are not deciding to which node to execute. Availability in the nodes, what configuration is matching with my desired capabilities, my hub is assigned to respect to node to execute parallel. So all these hub and nodes configurations we are doing and will be executing serial and parallel executions using the grid concepts, which we concentrate more on the 2 days to discuss on the grid concept. So as I said in testng, if we want to execute everything, we configure in the testng XML file. Like this, we can create like one project. I can create multiple XML files. Okay, all together XML files also as a suits we can execute parallelly. How to execute all the multiple XML files in a suite, one single suite? How to execute parallelly? That also I'll be showing you how to execute part of this grid concept. Okay, multiple tests how to execute parallelly and multiple suits how to execute parallelly. I'll be telling you all those things as part of the grid, like 2 to 3 classes. Okay, and next come to the this one Jenkins. Jenkins is a continuous integration system, friends. So where once we do the automation steps using any of the frameworks, next level I'll talk about frameworks. Using any of these frameworks like a data-driven framework, keyword-driven framework, page object-model framework, testng framework, BDD framework, whatever framework you use to develop the project, once the project is get developed, is being working perfectly in your Eclipse locally, then we used to assign this all the scripts to the Jenkins in a form of jobs. In a form of jobs, we have to assign to the Jenkins. So we'll be configuring the Jenkins such a way how the manner this script supposed to execute, because we are doing automation means one time effort. Next time onwards we can click on run, all the scripts are going to be executed. Even that click also I don't want to take a risk. I am going to be assigned this all the scripts configured in the XML file needs to give to the in a Jenkins in the form of jobs. The Jenkins will take care. I am making equal this Jenkins to the alarm piece. Why I am making comparing with alarm piece means, sir, see friends, daily I want to wake up early in the morning like 6 a.m. What I do, we put an alarm in your cell phone. Daily I want to wake up 6 a.m. What we do, Sunday to Monday you put the checkbox. Without your intervention, daily it is going to be ring the bells by 6 a.m. in the morning. A similar way, I am assigning all the programs, all the automation programs to the Jenkins in a form of jobs. That job I am configuring such a way how this test case supposed to, how these jobs are supposed to execute. Daily I want to execute, hourly I want to execute, minutely I want to execute. Okay, like this I am going to be configuring the job such a way how you configure the jobs are going to be triggered, and ultimately it is sending the mails to respective persons after completion of these executions with the attachments. So for this Jenkins, we have to install Jenkins. Now Jenkins can be installed in various ways through Tomcat, okay, through WAR file or through exe file. Anyway, we can install the Jenkins. How to install everything I used to say. How to create the users, how to assign the roles, how to assign the roles, how to create the roles, okay. How to pass the parameters, how to set the global settings, how to do the settings for the job level settings, how to execute the scripts, taking a source from local Eclipse, how to integrate to the Jenkins and execute. One way I will say, how to take a source from GitHub server project to execute in the Jenkins, how to do that. In 2 aspects, I'm going to be show you in doing it configuring in your systems. This Jenkins used to take like 3 to 4 days to complete, friends. 3 to 4 days I'm going to be take the Jenkins, friends. Okay, so because most of the things we get the integration problems issues, so everything I'll be showing you what are the problems we face, what the solutions we have to do, all those things, everything I'm going to be teach you. Okay, yeah. And one more thing, come to the frameworks levels, friends. I used to teach like a testng framework, anyhow I discussed for 3 to 4 classes, page object model 3 to 4 classes I said, and so don't call this page object model as a framework, friends. Testng is a framework, even BDD is a framework, but page object model, data driven, hybrid framework, keyword driven. These are the approaches. These are not called frameworks. The people that talking like as a frameworks. Frameworks means which is coming under framework means testng is a implemented by Java having some it is maintaining some annotations. Every annotation having its own importance and priority. Okay, so testng is a framework. JUnit is a framework. These two are the Java frameworks. And coming to the BDD is a framework. It's also having some predefined structure. Okay, it's having some keywords are there, annotations are there. Just like testng, how we are having annotations, similar to way having some annotations for this BDD framework also. BDD is a framework. BDD, right? BDD framework, testng, this is called frameworks. But data driven and page object model and keyword driven, these are the approaches. These are not called as a frameworks, friends. Okay, these are all the things I'm going to be covered as part of this course. 2 weeks we are going to be talking about these frameworks only. One project I used to take in that I'll be telling you how to manage this project structure in a reusability manner. Everything I'm going to show you. So when we are doing automation, unattended executions are happening. If any of the case my script is getting failed, means in the meanwhile without your presence, then we have to, how can we interact? We can't interact. We have keep the batch in the night to test the web applications. Are you going to teach Cucumber with the Selenium? Yes, sir. Yes. Okay, my Selenium is purely web-based application. It automates. Okay, my Selenium is purely automates web-based applications. Okay, where QDP supports Windows and web. Okay, my Selenium is purely web applications. Okay, see, if you see, suppose we want to travel by a car. So see, if you some mechanical engineers they are designing according to the academic projects, they are designing some cars without some structures, like just they wanted 4 tires and steering. They need some wooden chairs on to sit and travel like this. As a instance, they are developing the car. If that being as a well structured, like having some doors, bonnets, and some space, ready-made space, something they're designing like this, and some structure they're following. There's some framework they're following to design the Maruti 800, Maruti Swift design, right? The same way. So once we're writing a code, means we have to follow some structured format in organizing all those things in a systematic way. So then only my framework is going to be work for long lasting, even for long journeys, like if we're working for the product based companies, if it means every time we're getting keep on changing the features. If keep on changing means if it's unstructured, your project is unstructured, can we organize all those things in a smoother way? No, that's why we have to follow some system rules, okay, systematic rules. So using some frameworks only we can drive our projects in a easiest way in organizing the things. That's why I'll be teaching like testng framework, page object model, data driven and keyword driven and BDD framework together. We used to discuss like 15 days all these frameworks. Okay, this about the course which I'm going to be teach you, friends. In this, anyone having any doubt, friends? Till here, anyone having any doubts? As a glance, I told you what I'm going to be cover in the part of the Selenium course. First being as a 20 days as Java. Later we are moving to the Selenium for 30 days. I am from Hyderabad. Oh, 1 second. Trying Selenium jobs in South Africa. Here is real-time environment. They are using Cucumber. Yes, I got. So friends, so many of people are from South going South Africa. Yes, they are having many offers in South Africa. Even I am having 3 students being in South Africa. Yes, if you want to go to South Africa, I can use so many references. Even some of my friend, a student, he is got training by me, and he is supporting me. 5 more students to join to my batch. By January, the students that are joining for my batch, they're South Africans only. Okay, yes, South Africa having very huge opportunities, and salary also is equal to 1. Here we are having 1 rupee means there is equal to 5 rupees there in the price, right? Yes, a lot of jobs are there in the South Africa. Yes, they are using BDD only. Yes, we are covering BDD. Yes, sure. So, Sri Divya, I didn't get the course PDF. Sir, can you please connect to this administration of Durgasoft? Then they can help you out in sharing you that course content. Okay, madam? Sri Vidya. Yeah, fine. So, let me just have let's have the introduction on the manual testing on Selenium. Then we'll be wind up in the session for today, friends. Let me show. One second. Friends, so what is a testing? Let's have an introduction of the testing. What is a testing? Why do we do a testing? Let's come up. Raise your voice, friends. Don't be ideal. My classes should be very encourageable. Okay? Come on. Speak out whether it's right or wrong. Try to say. What is a testing? Why do we need a testing? As I have the knowledge, please share with me. Yeah. Go ahead, friends. What is a testing? Why do we do a testing? No one? Try to say, no problem. Unmute and speak out. If you are in a mute, I am unable to hear you, friends. If you want to speak something, please unmute and speak out. Your voice is mute. So you check who is that? Your voice is mute. Who has started? Like Sai Narayana. Okay. Let me make you unmute. Sai Narayana. Sir, now you can speak, sir. Speak out. Okay, let me continue. So you people are feeling nervous, I think, to see the answer. Okay, fine. Let me continue. Friends, what is a testing? Why do we need a testing? Is yes, testing is mandate for all the products, whatever you develop. That can be of an application perspective, that can be of a manufacturing it, whatever the product you are developing before launching into the market. Yes, it should be thoroughly checked. The quality of that product before launching into the market. Otherwise, your business will be getting negatively impacted. No, the customers will be attracting to purchase your product if product is being failed. That's the reason. Yes, we have to test that. The testing is a mandate. Is not only for the software level testing. Is all of the sectors. We have to test it before deploying to the market. Okay. So take an example. Automobiles. If I want to purchase a car. Okay. What customer is doing, he is checking the reviews feedbacks like this, right? So if you are giving the positive reviews means they are purchasing. If you're giving negative reviews means they are not purchasing. Business is impacting on it. For not to impact that business, first what I need to do, once I develop a car, I need to test my car. As per the Indian road standards, I was designing one Maruti desired car. As length is increased, height is increased, width is increased, mileage is increased to 2 kilometers. This is the new specification for my existing car. With these new features, I was implementing to the new car. Yes, once I design like this, I have to test my car as per the Indian standard roads. Is my car is working perfectly with actually expected after adding the new features for the car. Yes, how I test? Yes. So we have to test it. How to test it? Different road aspects, because as per Indian standard economy people, I design a car. Maruti is an economy car. For every low class to high class people, you are supposed to purchase my car. So I need to this car has to be reached to the all the people from low class to high class people in being in India, right? So the people stay in a different geographical location has to purchase my car. Different geographical location means we having a villages, towns, cities, hill areas, forest areas. The people will be staying in different geographical locations because I was designed as per the Indian standard roads. Yes, all the road aspects my car is supposed to travel. Yes, village roads means sand roads will be there. Of course, now the sand roads are not there. Concrete roads are meeting. Just for understanding, I'm saying village we having the sand roads, and come to the towns we are maintaining the cement concrete roads. Coming to the cities we having the black tap roads, tar roads, right? And coming to the hill areas, very peak roads are there, right? Very high will be the roads, peak roads. And if you go to the forest areas, the people stay in the forest areas, the road will be like zigzag roads. So all the road aspects, my car is supposed to travel perfectly. Then only I can reach to the customers and the customers. So in all the road aspects, I was trying and putting different gear systems and different load systems, putting a load in a car and driving in a different gear system I'm checking whether in all road aspects, in all gear systems, in all load systems, whether my car is perfectly working or not, it actually is expected. If anything deviates is coming, no, my test case is failed, my car is failed, right? Such a way, we are testing car. After developing car, I am testing a different road platforms. I'm not testing the car on highways, but I was testing the village roads and highway roads and all the city roads and hill area roads, all the things. If you go to the hill means very peak area will be there, very peak, very high the roads will be there, right? And so that's all the road aspects I have to test. Any of the road condition is not working properly, the car is totally failure, right? So here, what is conclusion here? We have to test the car not only in the one road condition, different road condition, which means different platforms. Agree? Different platforms, we are executing the same car in a different platforms. So cross-platform testing happen or not? Come to the application. Friends, come to the application. Here also, once we develop the application with the new specification, before deploying code into the production server, what we have to do? We have to do the testing on that newly developed feature and with the existing feature also. Yes, while testing it, testing the application only in a Windows and Chrome is job is enough? No, friends, because I want to reach my business to the end customers. End customers can open your business in a Mac with Safari, Mac with Chrome, Mac with Firefox like this. Some other may open your business in a Windows with Chrome, Windows with Firefox, Windows with IE, Windows with Edge like this. Some may open a Linux with Chrome, Linux with Firefox like this, they can open. So end customers can open your business in the different platforms and different browsers. Agree? Yes, testing in one platform, one browser is not enough my job. I have to test it in the cross-platform and cross-browser testing. Single test case. See, single car. How I tested in the multiple road aspects. The similar way. One test case I have to test in the Mac with all the browsers versions and Windows with all the browser versions. Linux with all the browser versions. Cross-platform, cross-browser testing. We have to do it. Right? Testing one single test case in multiple platforms and multiple browsers. Is it possible doing it manually, friends? Nowadays, everything is a maintenance projects. Today, what we are seeing the feature in the Amazon, next day or 1 week, we not the keep on changing the features, right? The UI is getting changed. Some new products are getting integrating into that existing one. So keep on changing means where we have to do the testing frequently. So see the changes can be happen daily or weekly or quarterly or half-yearly, whatever the changes made. But I have to test it already. Testing that too, I have to test it in a cross-platform and cross-browser testing. Is it possible doing it manually, friends? Highly impossible. Bygone days, we know only Windows is there, only Internet Explorer browser is there, right? We used to test only in a Windows browser, only in the IE browser on those days. Okay, on those days we used to test only in the Windows platform and in the IE browser. On that day also, there is no much competition is there. Only one or two or websites or the e-commerce sites are there. But now so many competitions are there. Competitive websites are there. Amazon, Flipkart, Snapdeal, so many are there, right? Yes, so many competitors are there. What this competitor is doing, implementing feature, other competitor also implementing new feature. Lot of competitions, lot of maintenance, lot of changes, lot of testings is to be performed. So is it possible going it manually means? Yes, it's not possible. So then only we go for automation. In short, what you say, when for what reason we have to go to the automation means, in shortcut we have to say, whenever there is a frequent maintenance is happening in a build, then we get a chance for doing the regressions. Regression means testing the same feature again and again is called regressions, right? Yes, when we get chance, very frequently getting chance for doing the regressions, instead of going for manual, we prefer as a automation in doing the executions. Where automation, one time we put the effort in instructing, in writing a scripts for 100 test cases, all 100 test cases will be executing for many times parallelly in all the platforms, parallelly in all the processes, which we can cut down the executions, where we can get the accuracy results in the automation. As we instructing such a way instructed you is going to be work with any of the actual expected is not equal, then it throws the error. and take the screenshot. But in the case of manual, you have to involve for every test case steps, every step you are entering, take a screenshot. At last, the success screenshot, everything you have to involve to work with the web applications, and we have to take a screenshots. Everything is a test. Not only one test case in one platform browser, you have to test it. You have to test it in a cross browser and cross platform testing manually. See friends, we are not the robots, we are the human beings. Hardly we can work for 8 hours, or we can stretch like other 3-4 hours daily. So like how many days you can do same work again and again, manually, you may vex off, and we no guarantee of testing in manually we can get the quality defect free product. So that's the reason we go for automation, because of manually having some disadvantage like that. So a lot of requests we're getting for do the regressions frequently. Then we go with automation, writing a automation code once and execute for many times in a different platforms and different browsers. If any deviations come as per the instructions, yes, it will be rerunning for a fail case also. Even after rerunning also failing, then finally take the screenshots, as that's a proof of concepts as we will get. So we can get the accuracy results working with the automation. Getting on it, friends? And everyone is clear about this what I discussed now, right? Okay, let's move. One more concept. Fine. Next level, friends. Yes, we having so many automation tools are there in the market. Now in a market we having so many automation tools are there. One is a QDP, and bygone days people used to talk about the QDP, and nowadays people are talking about the automation tool as a Selenium. Yes, why the people are very crazy about the Selenium compared to the QDP means most of the people says being as an open source, Selenium is a good for automation. No, not only that. Besides this, being as an open source, it providing many features which is not provided by the QDP. Let's see the differences between these two. First of all, yes, friends. First of all, the journey of the QDP starts with a tool name called Mercury, and it was maintained by the organization Mercury only. Mercury organization has maintained the tool name itself as a Mercury. After some years, the name was changed from Mercury to the QDP, Quick Test Professional, and also maintenance also changed. It was maintained by the HP, Helmet Packard. Okay, one second. So Mercury tool and maintained by the Mercury Corporation, and next it was changed to the QDP tool and was maintained by the HP, Helmet Packard, and after that tool got changed 3 years ago, UFT, it was by Micro Focus. It was maintained by the Micro Focus. So now the tool name is called as a UFT now, maintained by the Micro Focus. This being as a commercial tool. The QDP is now UFT is the commercial tool, which means we have to purchase the license. We are having two types of license are there: seat license and concrete license. Seat means single user, concrete means multi users. Based on your need, multiple use license we can purchase. Anyhow, my QDP is a software, it's a licensed software. Software means it contains extension .exe, right? Yes, this is the commercial software. If you want to work with QDP, you have to purchase it and install in a system, then you can work with QDP. But in the case of Selenium, it is open source, free to use, and free of charge. Friends, if you work with Selenium, first of all, it's an open source, not a licensed one, and which is not a software. But QDP is a software, and said it contains exe file, not exe. But the case of Selenium, it's open source, nothing to purchase, but it's not a software, it's an API jar file. What is the API jar file? Friends, first of all, let me say that, then we'll come to the what is jar file. Friends, my Selenium was developed based on technology Java. Using the Java technology, my Selenium libraries got implemented. So friends, in Java language, what is a Java language? First of all, Java is a platform independent programming language. Being as an open source, it's a platform independent programming language, which means I can install Java in any of the platform, Linux, Windows, and Mac. Can write a code in a Windows platform, can execute in a Mac platform. There is no interdependencies among the compilers to OS to OS. That's why my Java is a open source and platform independent programming language. So using the Java, any of the projects are developing, okay, the extension of this Java class will be like .java. Once we compile the .java, that is going to system JVM is going to be generate .class file which is contains the bytecode of the .java class. For every .java in a Java is while compile that it gives the .class files. Fine. My project is completed. Okay, my project is completed. Then how we completed while creating the Java classes after compiling .class files are coming. Source code is the .java. .class is the bytecode. Okay, .java is the source code. .class is the bytecode. Fine. Now we have to deliver that project to the client in a form of jar files. We have to give that. So we have to right click on a project. We have to convert into the jar file. What is a jar file? Jar file is kind of zip file. In a Windows, if any huge files are there, what we do? We used to compress that files. We used to compress that files. So compressing means reducing the size of the file. A similar way, a Java project once we done, we are going to be converted to the jar file. Jar is nothing but kind of zip file. It also takes the compressed file. By jar also takes the compressed file like a zip file. Here, what compressed files are taking? As I said, every Java program is saved with the .java. Once we compile, it gives the .class file information. .class file is the bytecode. .java is the source code. Once we right click on a project, once we convert into the jar file, it takes .class files into the jar file. Okay, yes. Like this, we are converted to the jar file. Similar to way, my Selenium community also developed automation libraries using Selenium tag. Using the Java only, they developed all the Selenium libraries using Java technologies. After the completion of this Selenium, they converted it into the jar file. That's why the Selenium become as a jar file. Not only Selenium, friends, even like Hadoop also, like emergency technologies like Hadoop also, which is not software, it's also API jar file. That also developed based on technology Java only. Using Java, they have developed the Hadoop libraries. After that, they have converted into the API jar files. If you want to work with Selenium or if you want to work with Hadoop, the backbone is the Java. Java needs to get installed in your system. On top of, we have to configure this language binding Selenium jar files and Hadoop jar files. We have to configure to the current project. That's why Selenium is not a software. It's an API jar file which has been developed using Java technology. Getting it right? Okay. 1 second. Okay. Fine. Next up. First point, here the QTP is a licensed software which we have to purchase it. When come to Selenium, it's an open source. It's an advantage point in Selenium, right? First point. And let's come to the second point in QTP. My QTP can run test in IE browser. Friends, testing the one test case in only one browser, is my job is enough? No, we have to test it multiple browsers, I said, because I don't want to lose any business. I want multi browsers, the same test case I want to execute. But QTP is executing only in only IE browser only. But what about if I get a chance for to execute Chrome and Firefox? Yes, it is possible, but we have to purchase the add-ons for the Chrome, purchase the add-ons for the Firefox to execute in the browsers. Disadvantage, right? But dedicatedly while purchasing QTP, by default provide IE browser and IE browser, and if you want to execute in Chrome and Firefox, yes, it is possible. We have to purchase the add-ons. You have to purchase the add-ons. Fine. And come to the second point in Selenium. Yes, can run test across different browsers. Yes, in Selenium, with being as a open source, yes, we can execute in all the browsers with free of cost. But the thing is, we have to configure the drivers for the respective browser. For Chrome browser, Chrome driver exe. For Firefox browser, Firefox driver exe, we have to configure. Suppose if you want to listen to music in a laptop, how the audio drivers is dependency. A similar way, which browser you want to execute, the browser drivers you configure before executing the Chrome. Same like Firefox. All the browsers is supporting, just we have to configure the drivers, which is free of cost. Advantage, right? Yes, coming to the third point in QDP, it can be used in a Windows. Friends, QDP can be worked in the Windows platform. Disadvantage. And come to Selenium, it supports various OS like Windows, Mac, and Linux. Because why it is supporting? Because Selenium is being developed by Java. Java is a platform independent programming language which can be worked in all the platforms. Using the Java, Selenium has developed and we can execute in all the platforms like Windows, Mac, and Linux as well. How the Java is working? Similar to a Selenium also can be worked in all the platforms, cross-platform history. Yes, advantage in the Selenium. Come to the fourth point in QDP. It supports VB scripting and Java scripting. It supports VB scripting and Java scripting. In automating the scripts, we need some common language in automating that scripts. So in QDP, it supports VB scripting and Java scripting in automating. Where in Selenium, it supports many programming languages like Java, C#, Ruby, Python. Using any of these programming language, we can automate the Selenium. Advantage, right? Fifth point. QDP is not a cross-platform tool. That's true because it's going to be work only in a Windows platform. That's why QDP is not cross-platform. Only in the Windows it supports. Where fifth point in Selenium, yes, Selenium is a cross-platform tool. Yes, it is supporting in all the platforms. So Windows, Mac, Linux, all the platforms is going to be work. Right? Advantage in the Selenium. Come to the sixth point in QDP. Yes, QDP is not sixth point, sorry, fine. Can execute in parallel but using QC, which is again paid license. Friends, once we do the automation, the scripts we have to execute in multiple browsers. I was saying, executing in multiple browsers, one of the other browser executing is a serial execution that takes much time to complete the executions. Where here we having some parallelism concept is there, where in all the browsers parallelly the same script is going to be executed. That is possible in QDP with the help of the QC. QC is a quality center, which is management tool. With the help of this only we can implement the parallel executions. Again, it's a paid license. Of course, parallel execution which cut down the execution time, but we have to purchase the license if we want to do the parallel executions, which is a disadvantage in the QDP. The same parallel executions can be performed in Selenium as well, which I can execute serially one after the parallelly at once we can execute with the help of the testng framework. Friends, testng framework was the Java framework. Okay, testng framework is a Java framework. Yes, we have to use this dependent jar file to implement these parallel executions. Being Java, what are the projects got developed? That everything is freeware. Yes, we can download. Download this testng jar file. We can configure to your current project, and we can implement the serial execution, parallel executions with free of cost. Advantage here, right? Yes, come to the seventh point here. Yes, it supports for web and Windows based applications. Yes, MyQDP supports in automating Windows applications, web applications, both I can automate. Where coming to the seventh point in Selenium, will supports to work only in a web applications only. Friends, my Selenium is pure automates web applications, will not automate Windows. If you want to automate Windows applications, some other third-party tools are there, open source. Okay, use that open source tools like AutoIT, Sukuli, and robots. With that, we can automate Windows applications. But my Selenium purely automates web applications. Right? Come to the last point in QDP. Test scripts can be developed on a QDP editor. Friends, we need some environment to develop the code. Yes, by default, once we purchase QDP license, itself is providing an editor. In that, we are writing the automation code using this VB scripting or JavaScript. And here in this Selenium, we must now it is an open source. Everything separately we have to download it. We need some environment to write a scripts. It is providing many environments like Eclipse, Visual Studio, NetBeans, IntelliJ. Any of this environment we can download it. Here we can write a automation scripts using any of this programming knowledge. Using any of this programming language, we can develop in this using this any of this environment, Eclipse, Visual Studio, IntelliJ, anything we can use, and we can develop the automation code. See, being of these many advanced features, there is no question going for QTP. Being as an open source with freeware, it is providing these many facilities by Selenium. That's the reason we are preferring as a Selenium as an automation tool rather than the QTP. At glance, see the things. Why do we prefer Selenium as automation tool? Means the first thing is free and open source is the first point, and second point is have a large user base helping community. Even being as an open source, very so many communities, Selenium communities are there which can give the support if any issues comes. And cross browser testing is possible, cross platform testing is possible, and multi programming language is supporting with free of cost all these features. That's the reason we are preferring Selenium as an automation tool. Friends, any doubt in this up to here? Any doubt? All right. Yes, if you are good, now for today, we can stop the session for today. We having no doubts, now we can stop the session for today. Okay. Tomorrow, same timing, 8 a.m. we'll be connecting, friends. Okay. Okay. Thank you, friends. Have a nice day. Thank you very much.